Well, hello, my loves, and happy Sunday to you. I know I look like it's late at night, and I just turned the camera on, and I caught a glimpse of myself in the monitor. So, sorry about that, but I'm kind of excited. I'd been working all day on other projects and different stuff, and was starting to pull my ideas together for Sunday Inspiration. And I got so excited that I just came on over to the table and started without any prep. And you're going to see that in the video. You're going to see me go through a couple of variations of what I'm doing till I get to the right thing. And I think that's really, really important. And I'll talk about that in just a second. And I came over here so fast that I didn't even put my apron on. And I've got paint all over. This is a brand new shirt, which always happens, and paint all down my jeans. It is my life of an artist. Every single piece of clothing that I have has paint on it, always on the sleeve, always. But that's just how it goes. Okay, so a couple of things before I start explaining what's rolling around in this crazy head of mine. By the time you see this video, you'll have a few more days left for the early bird pricing for Abstract Attraction. And we do some amazing, fun steps in that workshop. It's really freeing, and you might think that abstracts are scary. I take it step by step and make it really, really fun and easy. So you can check that out. I'll have the link down below in the YouTube description box, as well as on the blog post. And then all the supplies that I'm using will be listed on the blog post. That link is down below in the YouTube description box. When I forget to say that, people always ask me, how do I find it? And then the stencils that I use today will be on sale. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have to tell you. I'm just trying to remember. Okay, so I've got my book out, and I'm just going to show you I'm putting a couple of things together, a couple of their projects together, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so here's my background so far, but before we talk about that, let's talk about my inspiration. It's not the dog. It's this background. Look at that background. Hope you can see that. And that is what I tried to do here. And I probably could go a little bit greener in there. I might make some adjustments, but for the most part, I'm pretty pleased. But it took me a few seconds to get my process, and I'll show you that in just a second. And then, so these flowers here, I loved the simplicity of them. And of course, they're made of crepe paper, which all their stuff is just so amazing. I am not going to be making crepe paper flowers, but I am going to be doing something. I'm going to paint something similar to that, I hope. And then, so the other one was this. Okay, so look, this window here has all the pieces of the garden, basically, are cut from paper. And it's got some simple flowers in there. And so I have made some papers, and I'm going to do a few of these. I'm not, of course, going to do it like this. This is a close-up of the papers, a lot of them. And they're newspapers, it's just all magazine pages. It's just so, so good. I have not gone to that much detail, but you never know. Once I get there, I may cut out a few. But I want to kind of cut out maybe some leaf patterns. They're very, very basic. It's not like detailed. I won't be doing like the big black leaves in the background. I'll try to tilt that up so you can see. I know there's a glare. I won't be doing anything like that. I'll probably only be doing, this much and then some flowers. Okay? So that's my thought process. And I'm blending like 3 different things together. Now, let's talk about the background. So the background, you'll see me. I start with, I go through a couple of tools. I start with a brush, I use a palette knife, I use my dough scraper, and then I use a sponge. And what did I do with that? I use this is like a craft sponge that I bought off of Amazon, and it works really, really well. And if you put it right back in the water, you can wash it out and you can reuse it. But the sponge, between the combination of the sponge and the dough scraper, I got this really yummy, I wanted it to be muddled like the picture, and I wanted there to be some definite sections of color and paints and different things like that, and then to finally get down here. This is going to be mostly covered up, so this needed to be a good background for my flowers and things like that. And then at the very end, I kind of came back and kind of toweled it off and softened it even more. So I go through a few trial and error areas, especially when I started, and then I got my groove. But I really like the roughness up here. I like this really dark spot and like this really dark spot. It makes me want to maybe do another dark spot, but I think it looks really good the way that it is, and it feels really organic. Okay. So that's my background. I don't have any papers in it or anything like that. I just put a coat of gesso on first and then went to town with the paints. The paints that I used were, and I saved my color palette because it always helps me remember what I used. So I used Prussian blue, Payne's gray, raw umber. No, that's not. Yes, raw. Payne's gray. I used Van Dyke brown, and I had this bottle and I haven't used it in a while, and it's very, very close to raw umber. It's this. It's so pretty. And I wanted to use fluid acrylics because I wanted I wanted a little bit more movement, and because I'm going to be adding papers on top, I didn't want it to be too thick. So I used paints that were fairly thin. So these are fluid acrylics. I did use some of my Nova Color Payne's Gray, which is fairly thin-ish. I do have some Prussian blue out here. This is a heavy body, but I did end up watering it down. Let's see. Now, what else did I use? Gesso for my white, gesso for my black, and some Titan buff, and that's it for the background. Okay, and then I came back and I did some experimenting and again some trial and error. This was the first page that I did, and I wanted it to feel real watery, and I just didn't really like how it looked, but now that it's dry, it's really not bad. I really like this one. This one's not too bad either. But then what I did do is, when I didn't like that, I thought, well, I thought I would spray this. So once I did this, I sprayed it with water to see if it would kind of fan out, and it didn't, because I'm working on raw paper. It's not primed, so that paint is going to soak right in. So then what I did, once I sprayed it, let's see, which one was it? I have papers all over the place right now, and I'm not exactly sure where the flower ones went to. Seriously, I just had everything ready to go. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. So I tried I sprayed it with, I sprayed the paper with water and then stenciled with my sponge, just like like I regularly do, onto the wet paper, and that was what made me happy. Look at that, how pretty that is. And so that's what I did on my flowers. And so I did some sienna, some yellow, and some, I don't remember what color that was. Prism Permanent Violet Dark. And I did cad yellow and raw sienna. And I'm going to end up cutting these out along with my grasses and kind of placing them down. Once I get them down, I'm going to paint over them. Now, I've used the Just Flowers stencil. And I was thinking about doing, using my, let's see, this one's Messy Flower Silhouette in the background, like in kind of that Van Dyke brown, just kind of brownish, real soft, like put it down and then come back and pat it up, just to kind of give this silhouette of flowers in the background and to give it some substance for when I put my other flowers down. And I'm gonna make it real simple, I think. It's kind of my thought process at this point. Cut these out, cut my grasses out, and then paint over the top of that. And maybe not the bottom grasses, but the other grasses, I'm gonna paint over the top of that. I did bring out another stencil only because I was thinking about leaves. But I don't think I'm going to use this one. So both of the two stencils, the flower silhouette and this one, will be on sale. I think I'm just going to cut my leaves out and let them be what they are, really kind of simple. And see how that looks. If it doesn't work, then I can always go back to, a stencil or something like that. So I think that is all I've got. Okay. That's my plan. It's an ambitious one, I think, but I can't wait because I liked all these different elements, but I wanted to, again, do it in my style. And I feel like it's like a walk on the wild side. Like, what am I doing? I'm going to try it all. And I just kept asking myself, what if? What if I put those two together? What if I this? What if I that? And that's really my goal this year, is to ask what if, and to get outside of my comfort zone, because it's always the place that I learn something, whether it be about art or about myself or about my relationships or my kids or my faith, when I ask what if. And that's really what I'm working very, very hard to do. What if I took better care of myself? How would that look? What if I decided to do this crazy plan here on my piece? What if I spoke words of love more to my family? All those kinds of things. It's not just art, it's everything. And it is a walk on the wild side. At least it feels that way for me sometimes, because I'm unsure if I'm, what if I say things or I do things or I work on things and it's okay. We have to be willing to try. And if it doesn't work, if this piece doesn't work, I have learned something. I've learned that I like this background. I've learned that I don't like running. I've learned that my kids' love language are X, Y, and Z. I've learned things in the process of saying, what if, stepping outside of my comfort zone and being a little free. For me, it's free, because I'm very, very, very much an introvert. And so I'm taking a walk on the wild side. I'm being curious, and I'm asking what if. And maybe you need to do that today too. In your art, in your life, in your health, in your relationships, in your job, whatever it might be. What if? And imagine some really crazy things. Put some things together. Just go for it. Don't overthink it. That's why I have paint on my clothes. That's why it's 11 o'clock at night because I'm not overthinking it. I'm not going to talk myself out of this. I'm going to do it. How crazy, I don't care how crazy it is, how weird it might look, I'm going for it because this is the place that I learn and grow. So I challenge you to do the same. All right, my loves, I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. I hope it's restful and peaceful, and I hope you ask what if. And I hope that you always, always know that you are loved.